Hello everyone, welcome back to RCH Builders. Here we are again, hopefully for the last main demolition video for this house. We still probably have to do a few little tear out stuff here and there, of course, but that'll be probably after we fix the beams and stuff like that underneath. So as you saw in the last video, we got the last bedroom torn out and most of the kitchen. So we're probably going to leave that layer of flooring along with this one. It helps stiffen up the floors a little bit for now. So we're going to leave those in place until after we fix underneath. And then once we fix up underneath, then we'll probably rip these up and put subflooring down at the same time as we do that. So in the kitchen, we've got one wall over there, a little bit of, like the original, that was where the outside used to be at one point, where that was a wall. We'll probably just tear all that off as well. Get rid of that window, tear down this a little bit here. We may tear that apart, or we might leave that archway, because that archway might be serving, since that was an exterior wall at one time, that's probably serving somewhat, at least, to help hold up the ceiling joists. It'll depend. When we rip down the ceiling, we'll be able to tell. So of course we still got to rip the ceiling down, and we got to rip everything out of this. I'm not sure, because the way they have it set up, it was used as a laundry room at one point, or as a pantry. I'm just going to call it a pantry for now. And a little bit left on that wall there, but not much. And then we have the dreaded bathroom. Nobody wants to mess with the bathroom. So that's going to be where I'm going to be focusing mostly. But we got to get that out, and we got to get that tub out, the wonderful toilet. That's the main reason why nobody wants to mess with it. Once the toilet's out, the tub is out, and the vanity is out, there'll be a whole lot more room to work there. I'll probably have to set up the camera through there so you can actually see somewhat, at least, until I bust on through and open it all up. But about to get started with the dreaded bathroom. Hammer. Now we'll just set it there, and when we leave, we'll put it closer to the road. Somebody will grab that and use it for scrap metal. All right, now that we got the vanity and the tub both out the way, we could actually put the camera in a spot where we can hopefully see a little bit better in here. When you take up an old tub toilet like this, the biggest thing that people really hate is the fact that you got to deal with whatever water is inside it. The tank is completely empty, which is good. The main issue is what's in the bowl, of course. And even if it was clean when it was first put in there, it's been sitting there and it's just stagnant as can be. So, best way to just make sure you keep all that mess together and from getting it all over yourself, you got the really large 55-gallon trash bags, contractor bags. Smaller ones won't really work because the bottom will not fit inside it. And you really want to use the contractor bags because other ones will just end up tearing. Also, I like to double it simply because it just gives you that added extra in case one does tear. The good thing is this toilet does not smell at all, which means that it's definitely just stagnant water. At least somebody didn't use it before while it was not operating. That's been an issue in a lot of houses. So, good thing is it's not that. And you're going to want to set your bag up, of course. You can pretty much roll it almost all the way down. And when you do this, first thing you're going to do is get the nubs free. And in this case, as I was figuring, they're completely rusted out. So we're going to need to just break them or cut them off. The nice thing about the bolts that usually come with these is they are designed to break fairly easily. Not super easy, but fairly easily. But this being an older version and with so much rust, I'm not sure that I can get on it enough. There we go, broke right off. Just had to grab it in the right position. Somebody at one point started to decide that they were going to take this toilet up, is what it looks like, because the nuts that are supposed to hold it to the floor, if you look at that, they're way up at the top. So, kind of helps get it apart a little bit simply because of that. We want to, of course, take the water line loose. With this old PVC, the whole thing wants to turn. Alright, because I don't want to get too much up against this toilet, that's just being too much of a pain. I'm just going to cut that water line, because it's just rubber kind anyway. So, when you go to pick this toilet up, you need to keep it extremely flat, on a flat plane, or you will dump all the water that's in that P-trap out onto the floor, which is what we're trying to avoid, because we don't want to have to work in that. So, you gotta make sure that you can actually pick this thing straight up and keep it flat until you get into the bag. Sometimes that may be easier to do with 2 people as opposed to 1, but At the same time, there's not a lot of room to do that. Sometimes having a second person makes it easier to end up spilling it. So and now you can just simply carry the toilet out in the bag and throw it away. All the mess is contained. And as you see, looking at the floor, we did not spill a drop. So keeping everything contained so that we don't have to then work in the mess afterward. Now that we got all of that one wall down right there, we can actually set this camera up back here where you'll be able to actually see what is going on. And I think I need to tear down that ceiling right there first. That is a ceiling that is below the ceiling. But also we got this paneling here, so let's do that. Let's get rid of the rest of that paneling on the wall, and then we'll tear that dropped ceiling down that's up top, and then we'll tear out the rest of it. Yet again, we got a sagging ceiling, bunch of mildew stains all on the ceiling, cracked all through there. So that's why they built a ceiling underneath it instead of fixing it, tearing it down, putting up a new sheetrock ceiling. The floor as well, we had torn up an extra layer on there. Pretty sure we should have got that in the shot where I ripped that up, but underneath that mess, we'll see it then once it's all cleaned up. But I know there is definitely some major rot on the original floor. So yet again, instead of fixing it, they covered it up. Alright, finally, one more room done. So you can see how they got this floor here. It's just kind of rotted all around where the sink probably leaked at one point. You'll watch step. It still holds you for now, but I wouldn't want it to leak too much. They just went over this floor. It's all rotted through from both the toilet and the shower. Very common. And these studs on this wall, which were up against the where the shower valve was and everything, they definitely had a bunch of water damage in there that then invited bugs in, and they have eaten, slapped through them. I mean, you could almost just pull them apart piece by piece. So have to replace those. But one last room, the kitchen. Dump trailer's getting full, but we'll get what we can. Alright, so dump trailer's full, so I guess we're gonna call it a day on this one. The only thing that we really got left is tearing off those slats right there, cleaning up this bit right here. It's just not gonna fit in the dump trailer without poking holes through the tarp, and then we also got that whole pantry still to do. So there's still a decent little bit, but it shouldn't take too long to do the next time, and hopefully we'll still, when we come down, we'll plan on doing that and trying to do a few other things, whether we actually do some repairs of the beams or we just focus on, since we'll have the dump trailer, tearing up some more of this floor just to get it out of here. Or maybe we'll bring some shingles and we'll tear off the roof, put down some OSB over the top of those slats. There's a few different options you can do. The OSB will just help strengthen it up because the roof itself is not done through triangulation. It's just straight. You see those 1-bys are going straight across. So the half-inch OSB will help strengthen it. It'll help triangulate everything, and it'll help float out over all these spots where you can see leaks have been leaking. Today it was raining pretty hard for a little bit, and you can see even with all the dust that we've stirred up, you see all the water spots where it's done drip nice and clean. So it depends. We'll see what we decide at that point. Like I say, this is a on the side type deal for us. We've been trying to dedicate at least one day a week or one day every other week so we can at least get you these videos, but it depends on what our other jobs entail as to whether or not we can do that. So I might actually today, before I leave, try to go ahead and measure the roof, just so that we can have OSB with us if we decide to do that. But at the same time, if we do decide to do that, we probably won't get to the OSB because that's going to be a lot of shingles to tear off. That's going to take a while. Demo takes a long time, but it's one of the first steps. So hope y'all enjoyed watching, and like, subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications. If you have a question you'd like to ask a contractor, go ahead and leave a comment down the comment section, and we'll see what we can do to answer your question, or possibly, depending on what it is, maybe we can do a how-to video on it for you. See you next time.